Welcome to the Blessed to Teach show. This is Rick, your host, here on June 17th, Monday, and we are talking about spoils of war, an SB2 Decode, a very long one with over 30 images. So this will take some time. And some awesome news coming out, a lot of Clinton Foundation things coming out of the exposition, right, of what's going on here. Everything's being exposed. It's so exciting of a time to be alive. Oh my goodness. Here we go again on this June 17th. I got tons of people on from California I saw, and we've got people from Bama and San Antonio and Panama City, Florida. Thank you so much all for being in Minneapolis. Let's get rolling here. Spoils of war we're talking about. If you look at the last Q post, it's all the way back still on May 26th, where he reposted a March 20th post, but he did give us some new information about Japan, etc. But boy, we are still just getting tons of news. So who needs Q when you have massive news coming in, right? And one thing I talked about yesterday's video, which is on the backup channel, by the way. So appreciate it if you go subscribe there, because my marketing manager's telling me a lot of times they'll just take down the major channel and leave the second channel out. So I've got like over 60,000. Well, I should have over 60,000. I have like 59,500. It's been stuck there for 3 months on the major channel and only 10,000 on the second channel. So Blessed to Teach 2, it's Blessed to Teach 2. Please go subscribe there, because supposedly there's a good chance they won't take that down when they take this one down. It'll give us some more time here on YouTube. But yesterday's video, I was talking about the wall is being built, and the perfect example, I showed you this one portion here, and here's a summary video of it that does a real good job of summarizing what I was trying to show you in this 35-minute video. Worth watching that if you have time, because this is all has to do with this awesome job that this Brian guy's doing, that we the people build the wall GoFundMe. You can go, so you'll see this on the show notes as well, but let's just look at this. So if you come down here and you go to from story to updates, you'll see the latest update has a video here. It's extremely well done. Let's listen to it. Those of you on the podcast, I'm going to show you what's going on. This hill had a huge incline of 315 feet vertical rise, and it actually had tons of hills, right, 50 feet traverses, etc. So they had to have tons of dirt removal coming in and moving the dirt and trying to get to the point where they could actually have a solid foundation for the wall, a solid foundation for a road, as well as all the lights and fiber optics they wanted to use. So this is a extensive operation. The bid was $35 million, $24 million. The Army Corps of Engineers said they couldn't do it because it was infeasible, the cost was too high. And here is the bid that, again, this is the built wall. I've given to it. I just gave to it again. If you see what these guys did for $8 million, less than $8 million, when the bid for $30 million, etc. It's down a little bit, a little loud. Turning the sound down a little bit so you can hear me for the podcasters. So anyway, they have multiple trucks putting up different sections of multiple tractors putting up different sections. They put a 25-foot wide road going up this 315 feet traverse, and fiber optics and surveillance cameras. The fiber optics, so if they dig underneath, they'll be caught, and the cameras will go on, etc., and notifications. So look at before. See those big traverses? I'm gonna pause this just for a second. I'm going to pause this because it's really loud in my ear. But if you look at these, see how there's huge holes in ground. So what they would do is, here's a Rio Grande here. And basically you have America on this side and Mexico up here. So the coyotes would take people through these mountains and let them into America right here through this area, right? And but if you look up over here, it's really difficult to get over this mountain. And so they built this wall. The idea was to build the wall here. Army Corps of Engineers says it can't be done because it's 315 feet up, like a grade 2 ski hill. And you can see there's huge crevices everywhere. So if there's one of the guards said like 400 people came through here in one day, and they're like ants, and where you couldn't catch them all. And so even and the Border Patrol really couldn't get up here because there's no good roads anyway. So it was like individuals on foot, tracing individuals on foot makes that really hard. But if you so I'm gonna actually play the rest of this, and you'll see. I'm gonna try to turn down the music a little bit more since it's really not adding much to the video. And now if you look at this is the before picture. Now look at the after picture. For those of you who are on the podcast, it shows right here. It's just beautiful. So now they've got that. It's all normalized, the dirt, so there's not these huge 50-foot crevices. And now you can see, look at that. They've got these automatic lights that turn on, fiber optics, cameras. So if they try to climb the wall with a ladder or something, boom, they're going to get caught from that perspective, and then they can get there really quickly because of the road. This is our donations did this, right? That is just so cool. And if you go and look at this page, it's got 24 million. They're also really close to passing it's basically the Me Too movement, where a bunch of celebrities gave to it, to be the largest GoFundMe page ever. And so anyway, we just encourage you to go check it out. I'll include it in the show notes, GoFundMe.com/WeThePeopleBuiltTheWall. So you'll see it here. There'll be a link here on the Twitter page as well as the fundraiser page. I'll get those to you. Awesome stuff going on. It's kind of scary though how this is pissing people off, right? This is so divisive, the walls, and you got the cartels with guns. You've got a lot of people that are not happy about things like this happening. So it's very dangerous for them to be there. And it's very dangerous to see how many people are coming into the country right now as they're trying to pour in before it gets closed down, right? That's why I'm asking, the best way to support me is this preparewithrick.com. It's kind of a win-win because everybody needs food anyway. This is well-priced food that you can rotate into your normal food supply if you'd like. And also, it's got a 2-week supply and a 4-week supply and they've got these heavy-duty Mylar patches that are resealable, these Mylar patches. And you can get 8 food varieties and 1,500 calories a day, again, for only $75, a huge discount. And if you get twice as much food, you actually get, by the 4-week supply, it actually gives you 2,000 calories a day, so a lot more food and 16 food varieties. And so that's for less than half the price. So again, you want to go to preparewithrick.com. If you haven't got 6 weeks of food per person on your household, it'd be a good idea to grab some of this at preparewithrick.com. I got incredibly good reviews on this. You can see there's 24,000 customer reviews here, My Patriot Supply. Again, the website you're going to go to is preparewithrick.com. Let's get to the SB2 Decode. This is long, 30 images, so it's going to take a while. And we'll probably break halfway through. But let's look at the Trump state visit to the UK riddle solved. And the reason he tweeted Prince of Wales with an H in there. You see there was an extra H. We continue to decode the UK state visit riddle introduced earlier. Before you proceed, be sure to read part 1. We already went over that a few days ago. Probably about 5 days ago, I think it was. First, did you notice that 3 hours after I posted part 1, where we thought through the falsified stories of America's independence and the 3-city empire, the maestro posted 3 tweets with confirmations and encouragements. By the way, if you miss this SB2 Decode, go ahead and go back. It's really important to understand the 3-city empire, which is basically the Vatican, London, and Washington, D.C., which are basically what they call this Holy Trinity that actually controls the corporation of the United States of America. And that's why we have president versus kings, because corporations have presidents. So it's really insightful. Okay, at 9:21, Trump tweeted a video timestamp connected to Q3321, and where we read, "This is why we are here. Good find, Anons." This is confirmed by the video length 68, which is the value for good job. Thank you, POTUS. So here it is. This is why we are here. Find the outside contract. So again, the way this works is Trump tweets, and you look either at the length of the video or you look at the timestamp. And you see the timestamp brings us to 3321, which says, "This is why we are here. Good find, Anons." And it also has another potential confirmation with Joe D stated tonight, and it talks about John Dean. So that does it well. Hey, Randall Boot Scott, thank you so much. Jesus is the Lord's. said of Holy Ghost. Yes. And now if you look at this here, there is a decoded message here from all this. And it says, we don't know our history. The real one. Treaties and other important historical documents are falsely presented to us by our universities. The fake news and professional liars like John Dean. We need to revisit all our official history documentation and find the hidden clauses, the outside contracts. The cabal used these clauses to restrict us and prevent us from having independent foreign policies. These hidden clauses are also where the traitors have been hiding since the creation of the United States. It was interesting, John Dean, we learned about him, right? He was testifying up on Capitol Hill, and he basically was a convicted person in the Watergate scandal way back 40 plus years ago, right? And here he is slamming, he's always been slamming every Republican, now he's slamming Trump. And very discredited, as well as just the anti-Trump derangement syndrome is heavy on him. We have another confirmation with the line John D. stated tonight, which connects to a tweet made the same day about John Dean. Coincidence? Then we have the emphasized outside contractor that continues the conversation. Read the decoded message. To illustrate this reality of these outside contractors and contracts, here's an example of how the cabal used laws through Congress to curb our foreign policy. Just to rewind here, so back here, if you look up 3321, you see outside contractors it's talking about, or contracts. So these outside contractors and contracts, right? So here's Elizabeth Patterson Bonaparte and the 13th Amendment. So you see here's Elizabeth Patterson Bonaparte, from first wife of Jerome Bonaparte and the sister-in-law of Emperor Napoleon I of France. Jerome Napoleon Bonaparte was the youngest brother of Napoleon I and reigned as Jerome I, King of Westphalia, between 1807 and 1813. And you'll see here the constitutional amendments. The 13th Amendment is called the Title of Nobility Amendment and forbids U.S. presidents and their officials from using royal titles like king or prince or baron. Republican Senator Philip Reed of Maryland introduced this amendment in January 1810, and Congress ratified it on May 1st by a vote of 87-3 in the House and 19-5 in the Senate, sometimes called the Reed Amendment or the Phantom Amendment. You can't even find it they miss this 13th Amendment. They take it out. So here's the motivation behind the 13th Amendment. Elizabeth Patterson was a beautiful American woman and the daughter of a second wealthiest man in Maryland. On Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1803, she was married in Baltimore to Jerome Napoleon Bonaparte, brother of ruling French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. Elizabeth's teen love story soon became a nightmare when the French emperor plotted to cancel the marriage, formalize a divorce, and prevent her from setting foot in France when pregnant of her son with Jerome. The emperor thought that this marriage could interfere with his war plans and foster an uncontrolled rapprochement with the freedom-hungry United States. He considered his new bilateral relation could send a bad signal to the other French colonies and inspire them to seek for their emancipation. Sorry about that. It was time to activate his spies in Congress and introduce the Title of Nobility Amendment. The end of the monarchy in France in 1852 explains why this amendment was not pursued. Now then you have another type of deception using legal subtleties to move from a document the substance understood by the majority. For example, many fell into the trap of the 1783 peace treaty where they think the U.S. is sovereign because of its Article 1. So you'll see here in this Article 1, it kind of sounds like we're independent because it says, His Britannic Majesty acknowledges the said United States. Again, this is Article 1. that New Hampshire, Massachusetts Bay, Rhode Island, and Providence plantations, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia to be free, sovereign, and independent states that treats with them as such, and for himself or heirs or successors relinquishes all claims to the government proprietary and territorial rights of the same and every part thereof. So it sounds like Article 1, woo, United States free. The U.S. and the U.K. commissioned esquires to discuss the 1783 peace treaty. They introduced specific and obscure lines that would not engage the legal responsibilities of the real beneficiaries hiding behind the curtains. So this is key. You'll see the outside contractors and that 1783 peace treaty deception. So then they put a lot new stuff in this thing, and you'll see the signing of the peace treaty, including King George III. Hartley was an esquire. Adams was an esquire. Benjamin Franklin was an esquire. Jay was an esquire. Again, these esquires are below knights even, and they just have to do what the king and queen of England says. And so you'll see right here, in the name of the most holy and undivided Trinity. Everybody's thinking, well, cool, that's the Bible, God, Trinity. Yeah. No, that's not what they were talking about. That was a fool language. If the theological reference is admitted in the treaty preliminaries, why not go all the way and cite God himself? Answer, because the Trinity mentioned here is not the one you and I understand, the Holy Trinity of the one true God. They are referring to the power triangle that he was reviewed in his last deal with these three cities. The money is London. The military is the United States of America, and religion is the Vatican, the three-city empire. Crazy. Found another pound. Hey, love will prevail. Hey, Randall Busca. But anyway, here you got other stuff they added. An art treasurer and prince elector of the Holy Roman Empire. Why are they talking about the Roman Empire many, many years after it was gone, right? And the United States of America. Why would they mention the Holy Roman Empire? Well, we saw the Roman Empire symbols that we saw in our Congress, right? But arch treasurer, so the King of England manages treasuries? On whose behalf? So the king is actually a prince? What? What is the Roman Empire? I thought it collapsed. Answers. The King of England works for the money, military, religion Trinity, inherited from the controlled demolition Roman Empire, and that came back through the three-city empire. Woo! All that paganism in the Roman Empire continued right along. And it talks a lot about these esquires. John Adams, Esquire. Benjamin Franklin, Esquire. John Jay, Esquire. Right? Isn't that scary? And so all these different areas, these guys were basically just doing whatever the queen said. As you can see, if King George III was working for the Holy and Undivided Trinity and collecting stuff on their behalf, he should sign whatever with America without engaging the Holy and Undivided Trinity's responsibility. This reality was later confirmed with the War of 1812, where the British torched and burned to the ground the White House and all U.S. government buildings and destroyed ratification records of the U.S. Constitution. These bogus and treasonous treaties designed to put us asleep while the enemy was bleeding us dry or regrouping were carefully crafted by esquires. They will tell you this term is just used for respect or is another word for lawyer. Not true. The esquire is a patsy with not enough credentials to enjoy the royal proximity of a knight and positioned to accomplish a specific mission for the king. Does this ring a bell? And here's another, we have image 4 here. Esquire, a sub-knight that has to prove himself. And I'm not going to read all this in the interest of time, but this really goes over the detail of defined in 1830 by Burn City and Black, according to one typical definition of esquires in English law, included the eldest sons of knights, and it goes through all what they could be. And here's another one that's defined with the esquire, a rank next below that of a knight. So they're below a knight. besides those esquires who are personal attendees of knights and orders of the knighthood. So they're basically, in some ways, servants. They're definitely servants of the Queen of England. Oxford Dictionaries provides the following definition of esquire in 2016. Talks about, and so they've kind of got these more normalized things about a polite title appended to a man's name, right? And in North American, it's talking about a title appended to the surname of a lawyer. But really, historically, it's a young nobleman who, in training for knighthood, acted as an attendant to the knight. That's what an esquire is. So these esquires were not even close to the highest level of where you could be in nobility, right? An officer in the service of a king or nobleman, a landed proprietor or country squire, the lord of the manor. And so, anyway, you can see here's a picture of one, and they were, again, servants to the knights. And here you can, what's Esquire magazine talk about? There's Bush. There you have Bill Clinton. And a couple on Obama. He's on the cover twice there, right? The good esquires, puppets. That's what these presidents were. They're puppets to the holy trinity of that just talked about, that aren't even part of the United States. Now that you know what an esquire really is, we can decode the second confirmation tweet. Hussein, the esquire they love, the perfect spy. So here you see Trump tweets this video out. So 1 minute and 42 the length. So 102, and it's talking about forefather, Windsor, slavery. And then you see this where Barack Obama saying, I spy. Will this age well, Q says. And sure enough, he was a spy. It says, decoded message. Obama was the perfect esquire. He was an undercover CIA asset, married to another rogue CIA asset in Michael. Compromised at birth with no real birth certificate, no real family, no real ties to Africa, no history. Records sealed. A ghost. Funded and handled by MB, Muslim Brotherhood, respectively through Prince Alaouid and Valerie Jarrett. He was a perfect spy to perpetuate the enslavement we inherited from the forefathers and imposed by the House of Windsor and their ancestors since 1606. He was the perfect puppet to sabotage the 2016 election by spying on and trying to stop Trump. Their esquires could not deliver this time. Here is the decode of the third confirmation tweet. They failed. Panic in D.C. So here's talking about the video length here is 58 seconds, which is hammer. And if you look at all the capital letters, you're going to see they failed. So, and this brings us to this Q tweet here. It's talking about, and it actually talks to a tweet that actually said, panic in UK, panic in DC, panic in UK, panic in DC. Trump on the Russia probe. And here you have Esquire. Look what it says on the front desk when he's on there. Hater in chief. Do you see the difference? Some said admitting, hey, here's a great esquires. Here's a man who's rebuffing us. He's the hater in chief. He hates esquires because he knows it was a slave position and he's not accepting that. The decoded message says they spied on Trump in his campaign. They used illegal hammer surveillance system against him and activated all the intelligence apparatuses in the U.S. and the UK to stop him. To no avail. They failed. He still got elected. All they have left now is their fake news to continue to bark and show their anger for losing their past esquires. So they're mad about losing their esquires. That's why the Trump derangement syndrome is everywhere. Let's now dive into the 10-tweet riddle. The U.S. state visit to the U.K. So these are 10 tweets that Trump put out that day. And he started with a helicopter landing with a video here. And you'll see here he is with, I think, one of the duchesses, Prince of Wales. Here he is. And the Wales is spelled with W-A-L-E-S, right? Here's on day 2. He's walking with the Duke of New York Prime Minister. Here he is, the Prince of Wales again, driving. Here he is having an announcement with Theresa May, which is real interesting. That's what I have him back in the board. We're going to talk about why she's a spoil of war here in a second. Then a couple of things about crying Chuck Schumer. Then he went on to thank you, Theresa May. Then he said why. Then he has something about washed up psycho Bette Midler. And then he gets into just had a big victory in the federal court over the Democrats in the House on the border wall. And then it ends, you can see here, with the last 10th tweet that SB2 is pointing us to is where they're saying goodbye. I think that was Theresa May there. We'll see. But he's going to break this down a lot more closely. Here's tweet 1. The subject matter is revealed. So here's the first tweet. Conquest of the 3-city empire. Now this is really important if you understand how that 3-city empire controlled us for hundreds of years, right? Here we are being freed from it. This is a big deal. So you'll see that this military helicopter arrival, U.S. military might. Here's the Queen in green, and SB2 is decoding it as a green light. You won, congratulations. Here's Melania in white. Conversion time, welcome aboard, UK white hats. And then here you've got this picture where he's walking in front of the prince. Troop review at Q equals 17. Troop review. No queen. Prince left behind. Winning. So that's a pretty big deal if SB2 is correct on that decoding. Religious. So that was the military conquest, right? So the U.S. was the military arm of this unholy trinity, I'll call it, between this 3-city empire, right? The second part was the religious, which is the Vatican. And you can see here, there's a picture here, and I think that's with the Pope. He has a picture with the Pope, I believe, and then or it may just be with one of the head Catholic priests. But financial conquest, the London perimeter. So here is and so obviously you had Vatican, and then London here was the financial conquest with the Rothschilds, and so. Here's how he reads this. The tweet, Duke of York accompanies POTUS to meet with the prime ministers and business leaders. The owner of the U.S. corporation is revealed here. So here's the owner of the U.S. corporation. Remember, United States of America is a corporation. And here you have the Duke of York. And so you look at the capital letters, and the time it was retweeted, it says things like in the gematria, enslavement, federal corporation. And then you look at the Q post it points to, the timestamp points to right here. It's retweeted at 7:48. So you look at 7:48 Q post. Think children. Think slaves. Think sheep. Q. And you'll see here's a picture of them in his visit here with all these leaders. Here he is shaking May's hand. So here's a decoded message of all this. Even though the UK royal family claims to not interfere in political matters, it is very present when it comes to big business and international trade deals. The reason is to be found in the history of the kingdom and the way the Commonwealth was designed. In essence, the Commonwealth is the wealth of dependent countries and businesses aggregated in the Queen's hands. In the case of the United States, their ownership started with the 1606 Charter of Virginia and ended with Trump. Woo! That's what we're looking at here. Now you see the still problem, the tweet number 3 here in this series of 10 tweets. And it points you to 8:52 because it was 8:52 a.m. Why was the hunt for removed? And you'll see in 8:52 continues and it says the still plant. STEEL here, right? Central Intelligence Agency. Well, Christopher Steele, he was right here, is MI6, which points to Glenn Simpson. So the decoded message is this. Christopher Steele was a plant hired by Hillary Rodham Clinton and positioned in the U.S. intelligence system. His mission was to create and inject false information about Trump with the help of his friend Glenn Simpson from Fusion GPS, right? This operation was conducted by Brennan, Clapper, and Comey and was authorized by Hussein and UK Prime Minister Theresa May. Do you hear that? So not only was Obama authorizing this, so was the UK's Prime Minister Theresa May, the spine. That's what's going to be coming out here in the D class. Tweet 4, Prime Minister May had to go. And this is what Trump's saying right here. Thank you, Theresa May, as she's going. And if you look at the the capital letters, it's 53. Be best. Be fierce. Then you have Trump's tweet says, former CIA analyst Larry Johnson accuses United Kingdom intelligence of helping Obama administration spy on the 2016 Trump presidential campaign from Oman. So here you go. You've got a confirmation that the spying was UK-based as well, authorized. And it points to Q drop 950, says Pompeo is Trump's guy. As head of CIA, gather intel on all the shady CIA stuff. We've done both here and overseas. Moves to State Department to use that intel to help free the world from the CIA BS. Trust Kansas. Pompeo's Kansas, right? So here you go. This got a meme of Trump, and it says, when somebody challenges you, fight back. Be brutal. Be tough. Decoded message. As confirmed by past tweets and classified information, UK Prime Minister Theresa May conspired with Obama to sabotage the 2016 US election and challenge the will of the American people. She authorized the UK component of the Brennan illegal spying operation that Pompeo deconstructed along with other things when leading the CIA and now the State Department. Prime Minister May's interference was an act of war and an attack on our vote. Trump, as our commander-in-chief and protection of our civil rights and liberties, had a duty to fix it. Prime Minister May had to go. Interesting to see what the mainstream media is saying. It's all because of Brexit, right? Prime Minister May tried to save herself and satisfy POTUS by dropping GCHQ Director Hannigan. So remember when this happened, this is post 3339, says fly may fly. And here you see the GC headquarters way back in January of 2017 said, we're sorry to announce that Robert Hannigan, our director since 2014, has decided to step down as head of GCHQ. So she got rid of him right when Trump came into office. Decoded message. The inauguration of Donald Trump as the 45th president of the United States occurred on January 20th, 2017. It was a Friday. Robert Hannigan, head of the GCHQ, was not allowed another day at the office. He stepped down for personal reasons. On Monday, January 23rd, 2017, first collateral damage of Prime Minister May's attack against America. If you remember, this GCHQ is like the CIA of the United Kingdom. Behind the scenes, POTUS had very specific demands that had to be satisfied before he would accept the Queen's invitation to a state visit. When he got what he wanted, the visit was scheduled, and he put an end to the multiple delays that the fake news never understood. Here's image 13 talking about now the U.S. state visit can happen. The state visit the President of the United States of America, Mr. Trump. You can see state visit of the President of the United States of America and Mrs. Trump. Trump finally gets his British state visit, but tensions that led to delay remain. So there's a delay because he wasn't getting what he wanted. Trump's state visit to Britain's long delayed now has a date. You can see that. What do you think these demands were? Tweet 5. Demand number 1, the steel package and GCHQ. They delayed it a day, and it worked out okay. Here's Donald Trump's tweet talking about a big victory, a big step in the right direction. Wall is under construction. Here you see this next tweet where he's walking here ahead of the prince without the queen. Born again as 81. The weather was a big factor. They delayed it a day, and it worked out okay. 80 is also is weather here. And you look down here, and you have a picture of Apple headquarters in Cupertino. That's 1309. And if you look at that, that is a very similar symbol, the Apple symbol, to the GCHQ. And you see here that Washington examiner Christopher Steele won't cooperate with John Durham review of Russia investigation. That was on May 28th. And the very next week, Dossier author Christopher Steele, willing to meet with DOJ Inspector General team. So that was part of the deal. Here's the decoded message. The weather was a big factor in the success of Trump's state visit to the UK, where the UK intelligence community and the kingdom's administration in general going to join the storm. This complicated business was the reason the state visit was delayed. It was delayed for a day, and it worked out okay. During this day, things were worked out behind the scenes and resulted with Trump having a big victory. Welcome aboard, GCHQ, and thank you for the Steele package. So he gets Christopher Steele. Demand 2, Prime Minister May resignation. It turned out okay, the final act. And here you see the visit on April 23rd. They delayed it a day and it worked out okay. Coincidence? On the very next day, May 24th, Theresa May announces her resignation. And here you have Trump saying, when someone challenges you, you fight back, be brutal, be tough. The decoded message, following the GCHQ's director resignation on January 23rd, 2017, the GCHQ's full cooperation proven by the Steele package, the announcement of Prime Minister May's resignation was the final act. To keep up appearances, Theresa May is allowed to blame it on Brexit. She's also instructed to stay in office until June 7th to host POTUS in order to give him the keys to the kingdom. Are you tired of winning yet? Tweet 6. Now that you've delivered on the Prime Minister, GCHQ, and Steele, we can try to heal the wounds. This is rethinking the UK-US diplomatic relations. So tonight, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall attended the dinner at London hosted by POTUS and FLOTUS on the second day of the USS State visit. PA images, and you'll see here the retweet was at 1707. You look at all the capital letters, and that can be to the gematria of who knew that I would become who I am today. And if you look at that points to 1707 Q drop, which part of that says, when did No Name travel to the UK? No Name coming back in here. No Name gone. What a beautiful red dress. And you'll see here this picture of this beautiful red dress that Melania is wearing. It says image size is 1200 by 799. It says, it's okay. Come over. Let's talk about this and make each other as uncomfortable as possible. Here's the decoded message. The UK authorities conspired with Obama and his administration to sabotage the US 2016 election without ever imagining Trump could win. Confirmed here. Q 2086. They never thought she would lose. This led both sides to make irreparable mistakes. Internally, it was treason, and it is being fixed with No Name being the first to pay. Eternally, it damaged the diplomatic relations between the two countries, which had to be rethought and redesigned anyway. Woo! Tell you what, this thing is long, but it's good and juicy. And I did want to bring in, I'm trying to figure out, I'm at 37 minutes now. I'm going to bring in, take a quick break before we get to the rest of these images. This image, by the way, is image 16. So we're going into image 17, so we're a little over halfway done. But I wanted to bring in this cool coin. When it comes to looking at the whole Trinity, and one of them was London being the financial empire of that, Trump's going to be breaking that up. And one of the things that you might want to make sure you have is gold and silver. And I think you know about this silver bar I've shown you before. It's like, this thing is freaking amazing. It's a 10-ounce silver bar that says, United We Stand. And the other side is a flag. It's beautiful. 10 ounces of silver. You also have seen the Trump coin as well, right? That has on the back has delivering as promised. Well, you can get these at Trump Coin 2020 and get $30 off with my coupon code. That is going to, you go to TrumpCoin2020.com. Make sure you use the coupon code down below, which I believe is Blessed to Teach 30 for the $30 off. 2 is the number 2. Blessed 2, number 2, Teach 30 to get the 20% off. You can also get both those things for free if you do a IRA, a gold IRA. It might be a great time to take your old 401ks and put them into a gold IRA, especially with the potential gold standard coming. You can call Noble Gold at 877-646-5347. Make sure you tell them Blessed to Teach sent you. 877-646-5347. There's also a link down below in this video if you want to consider getting a gold RA from Noble Gold. Get yourself free 11 ounces of silver. Or you can just go buy it right away. If you don't have the time to do a gold RA, just go to TrumpCoin2020.com. All right, let's get back to this this decode on image 17. The spoils of war, now comes the pain. And you can see here, you have President Donald Trump and FLOTUS welcomed the Prince of Wales to the Duchess of Cornwall, and they arrived in Winfield House at the return banquet. And you can see that all the capital letters equals 307. It says, because they are not in control, pleased to give you the kingdom. And here's points to this 1709 where it talks about something big is about to drop. And the decoded message is, they lost control. They have to give us the keys to the kingdom. Spoils of war coming our way. That's, you see the title of this show, Spoils of War. And one of them was Theresa May, among many other things. Do you want to know what the spoils of war are? I will show you. Here's an accessory plus singer. Together we win. So you look at his other tweets. It's talking about crying Chuck Schumer, loud here, bluffing, creep, bluff. And you see this necklace here, this accessory here. You see Nancy wearing her accessory here. When you point to this other tweet and you look at 1930, listen close. 3 minutes and 33 second clip. And so you have a Chuck Sessions, this is where Sessions hints to trust the plan. And then this here is shows you Bette Midler, the psycho singer, and he mentions her. And it points us to, this tweet points us to 2441. It says, together we win. So he's going to talk about all that. It says, these 3 tweets are a sub-riddle. The clues are 3 minutes and 33 second clip, accessory, singer, and together we win. Can you solve? Peruvian coffee for those who solved it through singer Jane Birkin and Melania's Hermes Birkin bag. Look. So she's got this Birkin bag. You see it right here, right? There it is. Hermes Nicholas Crocodile Birkin accessory. And she's also got gloves in her hands. You can see, how about the gloves? And then you see Jane Birkin, the singer. So here it says, in 2015, Birkin wrote a public letter to Hermes requesting her name be removed from the bag, stating she wanted the company to debaptize the Birkin Croco until better practices in line with international norms can be put into place, referring to the cruel methods used to acquire the skins for the bags. Hermes announced soon afterwards that it had satisfied Birkin with new reassurances on this. Here, how about this 3 minute and 33 second clip? So believe it or not, this is all about, I think I have it right here. I'm not going to play it because we're out of time. But it basically 3 minutes and 33 seconds about the holy trinity of Hermes bags. So look, it's talking about Trinity's talking about these 3 bags. One of them was the one that Melania had. Now, what does Melania mean with this Croco bag and gloves? To solve this, we need to go back to her trip to Africa. Do you remember when the fake news attacked her on her outfit? Melania Trump's latest white hat evokes colonialist comparisons. Look at that. Colonialism? Very interesting. Huffington Post saying Melania Trump's colonialist outfit during Africa trip has Twitter users gagging. Here's Vox. The backlash to Melania Trump's safari outfit explained. There she is. She has a white hat, like the white hats, right? Well, Melania knew exactly what she was doing. When she landed in Commonwealth, Ghana, look how she attacked London and the 3-city empire. There she is with the City of London flag all over her. Arrival in Accra, Ghana. First stop, the Melania's trip to Africa. You can see there she is with that outfit. Then she gave an interview to ABC with a swamp in the background. Right there and then, the crocodile bag she would hold when meeting UK Prime Minister May started to be confectioned. Here it is. Swamp, pith helmet, Giza and sued criminal. Can you solve? So here you have all the pieces. You got the Birkin bag, which was talking about the swamp and the alligator, right? You've got the picture of her being interviewed at the swamp. There she is with the pyramids, and she's got her white hat on. Notice the similarity of Michael Jackson. And here she is, the fake news hating on the pith helmet. And you can see, if you remember, that in Image 19, we saw Hermes compiled with Birkin request not to use cruel methods to remove the skin from crocodiles. Then you see the gloves and Michael Jackson's smooth criminal outfit represent how POTUS and FLOTUS smoothly took control of the Commonwealth swamp without leaving any fingerprints. Ha ha ha. You're tired of winning yet? Let's dance and celebrate. I can't do that or I get copyright strikes, but this is a little bit of Michael Jackson dancing around, right? And here, now question, why did Melania wear the smooth criminal outfit with the Giza pyramids in the background? Let's dance first. Another dance video he puts in here on Michael Jackson. And then it says, big load of Bavarian coffee for those who noticed that the Christie 3-minute and 33-second clip mentioned the Holy Trinity. We are in a triangle territory, and here is the decode. So here he's coming down. Hermes reveals the secret of the Holy Trinity. And there you got, founded in 1766. Christie offers premier auctions and private sales of the finest art, antiques, and interiors, jewelry, and watches, wine, and more. And there you can see a hammer coming down during the auction. So the hammer's in here. You got peace treaty signed in 1783 in the name of the most holy and undivided Trinity. Coincidence? Hermes was created in 1837. And you had spine is a key component of the Antichrist agenda. You see these three purses they talked about in that video. It's right here, this Trinity video of the three Hermes bags, right? It says Kelly plus Constance plus Birkin equals 222. Kind of scary. 222, 222, 222. You add all those up, gives you 666. We went full circle. Thank you, Hermes. The Holy Trinity that was mentioned in the 1783 peace treaty was actually nothing more than the worship of the beast, inherited from ancient Egyptian religions and using spying as its main way of ruling. Yes, this Holy Trinity, translated into the three-city empire, is the occult hand through which the cabal owns and controls kings, their kingdoms, their people, and their possessions. You now know why the maestro tweeted the Prince of Wales with an H and happily accepted to be mocked yet again by the clueless, low IQ fake news. So here's a video by MSNBC just hating on Trump.
This one is actually a meme, not a Photoshop, but it's captioned, quote, "Does the Prince of Wales know about the Saudi Prince Salman? They can't both control the sea." All in all, another good day on Twitter.com for the President of these United States.
Total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain.
Sorry, guys, I turned down the sign way too low.
MSNBC.
Apologize.
Thanks for watching.
I think I got it there at the end, though. Point being, I think you see it, is that there's actually the NBC just wailing on him because he said whale, W-H-A-L-E, and then all those memes start coming out because he misspelled the Prince of Wales. You know he got that extra H from Hermes, right? That is what whale. Have you read Hermes Melev's Moby Dick? Here's a link to it if you want to go see it. Did you decipher it? Are you familiar with the Philistines' Dagon from the Bible? So here's the Prince of Wales with an H, the Pope's mitre and ideology. So you'll see here he's got the Prince of Wales misspelled. There's the Wales and that, and he's actually pointing that to the hat on top of the Catholic Pope with the M-I-T-R-E, whatever you pronounce that, sorry. Holy See, Vatican City, State. You'll see here, and then it goes in and shows even back in the Dagon priest with fish hat. So that hat is like a whale or a fish, right? And you'll see it, see Dagon fish divinity. Now, the rulers of the Philistines, and this is Judges 16:23 in the Bible, talks about now the rulers of the Philistines assembled to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon their god and to celebrate, saying, "Our God has delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands." Right, the false god, not really. Now he's quoting from the Quran, in 7163, says, and asked them about the town that was by the sea, and they transgressed the Sabbath. With their fish came to them openly in their Sabbath day, and the day that they had no Sabbath they did not come to them. Thus we gave them trial because they were defiantly disobedient. But you can see both scriptures talk about the fish god. As you can see, the Vatican follows the ancient religion instructed by their Babylonian masters and consisting of worshiping animal spirits, specialty the marine ones. Welcome to the beast Antichrist agenda with a zest of Holy Trinity. This is the secret reason behind the omnipresence of admiralty law in our society, and this is how all religions they control are zoologically hierarchized. You did not know the Vatican had Babylonian masters they feared? It's right here in Q547, the Babylonian masters, ultimate beneficiaries. So you see here, around 586 BC, the first temple was destroyed and many Jews were exiled to Babylon. Many among the priests abandoned Moses' teaching and embraced Satanism and magic. These teachings were then disseminated in infiltrated religions. So you can see the Pope kissing this Jewish person here, his hand. And here you see European Parliament, Strasbourg, France. And you see the Tower of Babel, looking very similar, right? The Tower of Babel built before, when they were all rebelling against God, before he confused all the language and separated everybody. And here you see the network. You can see all these Catholic priests here, and then you see the Esquire showing the two Clintons. Revelation 17:4. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet, and you can see that's what Hillary Clinton is in here, and was glittering with gold, precious stones, and pearls. She held a golden cup in her hand, filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. The image Q547 is one of the most explosive revelations in the Q board. It is the door to a complete understanding of the Antichrist agenda and to the identification of the real tyrants and owners hiding behind kings and dogma of who, with Lucifer's help, have enslaved mankind for centuries. POTUS attacked the very foundation of their tyranny structure, and it's now depriving them from the wealth and the power they have accumulated over the years through lying to us, stealing from us, and deceiving us. Now you have the palette to enjoy the following drop posted a year ago and how it relates to Prime Minister May's resignation announced in May. Q997. Pope will be having a terrible May. Are you now ready to go through the London spoils of war symbolized in the last video of this amazing riddle? Image 26, you can see here, the keys to the kingdom. So here you see, hey, what's up? Where he's meeting Theresa May, and then you can see here he's walking. Good, I want the whole thing all the way to the top. Then you see here he's talking again, and it says, former Prime Minister Churchill, you now have two things in common. And then you see them talking there again. It says, okay, okay. So it continues in the next image 27. Enslaving America is over. And this, you can see here in this visit, in this, he's got the I think it's this part of the Constitution. It says, yep, I did my homework. I know exactly what you've been up to since 1606. And you guys know your covert ownership of America is over, right? Time for a trade deal. A real one. Ready? And it goes to image 28. Spying on America is over. Wow, this is exactly what I meant 27 months ago about the Trump Tower in the tweets back, tweets below. Check Q997. And here's what he said. Terrible. Just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. He said that on March 2017. This is where you were spying on me in my campaign. Looking at kind of this similar to the Situation Room in UK. Here's the War Cabinet. I see Hussein also used the Situation Room for live streaming sessions when spying on me. So here we have the situation with Hillary and Obama and Clapper and Obama and Brennan and Obama. And here it says, wow, all this work and you found nothing. I told you from the get-go. No collusion, no obstruction. And image 29 says dark to light. 40-foot power out of the House last victories. Here we see a 41 to 44-foot flag not in the wind. Less freedom, sabotage, America waiting. Summary, the video length was 50, defeated 50. Those who try to destroy America, weaken our military, and export our wealth are now defeated. Dark to light. And this gives a little graphic here showing Reagan. The last victories were all the way back in President 40, Ronald Reagan. But ever since President 41, President 42, President 43, President 44 was all sabotage by the Esquires. 45, power renewed, enlightenment. 45 plus photo flash, dark to light. At this stage, what could be the last outstanding question? Yes, perhaps you are wondering on which ground I translated USSV 81 to born again equals 81. In the image 14 and image 26, well, the UK state visit ended on June 6, 2019. The very next day, it was a VP Mike Pence's birthday, and the maestro tweeted about it. Value for Mike Pence? Yes, 81. Born again? Isn't that birthday celebration is all about? So here's image 30, end of the state visit to the UK. Born again. You'll see Trump walking down with Pence. Happy birthday to our great President Mike Pence. And it's 9:44 is the timestamp. So you go to tweet or Q drop 9:44. We went too deep. Attempted to pull back. Not ready. Now you see happy birthday equals 220. Change without notice. 81, born again. A new chapter in the story of your life has just begun. Trump Times at polls 944 where Q attempted to pull back last year because he felt we were not ready to receive a certain type of information about the New World Order. Do you see why the maestro chose a picture with Air Force One? Yes, he's talking about our spiritual journey. If you are reading these lines today and are resonating with them, with all the things I have been sharing with you about the battlefield, take a look back and consider the huge distance covered. Q, as you can see, we are now ready. We have grown. We are ready to be born again with the knowledge we have and the freedom that comes with it. The maestro knows. He coded it in the vertical image size. A new chapter in the story of your life has just begun. Gematria 546. Q 918. Wait until you learn who has been talking to you here. Q. Woo! I tell you what, that is one beefy SB2 Serial Brain 2 Decode. And wow, guys, just blows me away when you look at this 3 empire city and you look at that was all symbolic of us being free from that. That is huge, and that means Federal Reserve from the power of London as well as that rule. That means the Babylonian Vatican type stuff that's masquerading as Christianity. Doesn't mean that there's not a lot of Catholics who love the Lord. I know that, Lulu, right? And then also the military that was being used to basically fund both sides of wars and make sure they knew who won, using the United States as a proxy. So it's just crazy to look at that. And there's so much more, but I've already burnt through my hour. I did want to just mention one last article that I think is important. And that is the State Department identifies 23 violations, multiple security incidents concerning the Clinton emails. So this just came out. Trinity talked about it today as well. So I'm telling you what, there's a lot going on here, guys. This is exciting times. And we're I think the D-class is pretty much happening. Just we're getting information all the time. So, and I think they're doing it in a very meticulous way that's designed to actually result in the Great Awakening. Let me pray. Heavenly Father, just thank you so much for this group of awesome patriots and this platform to be able to talk to them all at once, either live or in the recorded video. Lord, and I pray for anybody who's listened to my voice, either live or recorded, Lord, that you will just bless them. You'll bless them with a spirit of just love for each other, love for their country, love for patriots, love for the Constitution, and love for humankind. The direct opposite of what we're seeing with this evil cabal. Lord, expose this evil cabal. Allow it to be ripped out of our societies completely, and allow us to come in there with our righteousness that you will give us, Lord. We know we have to have the righteousness of Christ to cover us, but Lord, allow us to come in and plant us in these areas of all these 7 mountains of cultural influence I'll be talking quite a bit about going forward, Lord. I just pray that in every one of those we can have new leaders and new influence and affect the culture of our countries. Lord, thank you. And we love you, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much. I'm over an hour here, so I hate to get too much over. We're several minutes over, so I'll catch you guys a little later. But I may not be on tomorrow night because of the Trump rally, depending on what time that is. We'll see what happens with the news and how excited I get about something. When I'm excited, I can't not go on, but it'll likely be Wednesday versus Tuesday. But again, go to my backup channel and please subscribe there. That's where the last video was I did on building the wall. That is one to go make sure you don't miss. And so again, this is Rick with your Blessed Teach Show on June 17th. Spoils of war. May went down because of Trump, and many other spoils came as well. It's an SB2 decode. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you next time.